Welcome to All Saints Catholic School e-learning. In this video, you are going to put into practice how to construct the past tense for regular verbs ending in AR. For this session, you will need to have watched the big idea video on this topic first, a quiet place where you can focus, a pen and a paper. By the end of this video, you will have recalled how to form the past tense for AR verbs. You will have looked at some examples of answers using the past tense, and you will have analyzed some answers, for example, the 16 and 32 marker. What you are going to do now is to take 2 minutes of your time to retrieve and recall what you learned in the previous video, in the big idea video. For that, what I want you to do is to have a look at these statements in the blue box and select the 3 which are true. Have a look. Well done. The true statements are A, C, and D. Being able to talk in past tense and being able to know how to construct the past tense, the preterite past tense in this case, in Spanish, will be extremely useful in your GCSEs. You will have to write and speak in Spanish, and in the writing you are going to find a variety of questions where the past tense will be needed. First of all, the 16 marker. It's a type of question that you are going to find in both the foundation and higher papers. One of the bullet points out of 4, one of the bullet points for sure will be in past tense. Secondly, the 32 marker, if you end up doing a higher paper, one of the bullet points will always be in past tense. And finally, the translation, which is a task that can be found in both foundation and higher papers. In the translation, you will have to be able to identify past tense structures and sentences and translate them. And secondly, in the speaking paper, where you will have to answer 2 questions in Spanish using the past tense and describe a photo card in Spanish where one of the questions will be in past tense. So in conclusion, knowing how to construct the past tense in Spanish, in this case the specific past tense, preterite past tense, will be extremely useful and it will help you achieve a grade 5 or above. Okay, now you are going to start working it out. First of all, by completing this activity. As you can see, you've got 6 sentences. These sentences refer to one particular bullet point in 116 marker that you have in green. Describe una actividad deportiva reciente, which is a real bullet point in a 16 marker. And what I want you to do is identify the sentences that are written in past tense. Which sentences are in past tense? Have a look at the endings and have a look, first of all, find out the verb and then find out the ending. That will give you the clue. Okay, let's have a look at what you said. Well done if you thought number 2, 4 and 5 were the correct sentences. Let's have a look at the sentences. Number 2. Después del colegio, yo no jugué al baloncesto en la cancha. The key past tense verb is yo no jugué, which is, in this case, in a negative form. How can you identify that this is past tense? Because of the E with an accent. Straight away, you know this is an AR infinitive, jugar, to play. And it refers to the first person of singular, yo, which means I. So if we translate that sentence, después del colegio, after school, I didn't play basketball in the court. Let's have a look at number 4. Ayer no participé en la competición, puesto que era muy difícil. This is another past tense sentence. How can you find out that this sentence is in past tense? By having a look again at the E with an accent. Participé. I participated. It comes from the infinitive participar, AR again, which means to participate. And again, it's a negative sentence. Let me give you another clue to find out if a sentence is present, past, or future. You can also have a look at the time indicators. In this case, ayer, which means yesterday, it's indicating, it's showing to you that the sentence refers to a past event. Number 5, El verano pasado, con mi hermana, nadamos en la piscina. Again, we've got the past tense nadamos. In this case, it's talking about a group of people, the person and the sister. We swam in the swimming pool. We, nadamos, that's the ending for we. And it comes from the infinitive nadar, to swim, another AR regular verb. Again, you could have looked at the time indicator, el verano pasado, last summer, which is telling you that this sentence is in past tense, preterite past tense, specific as the action has finished, it's completed. Well done. Let's continue putting this into practice. Okay, well done. Over to you. What you are going to do is to put into practice how to construct the past tense, the specific past tense, preterite past tense, and you are going to apply it to different bullet points and to different topics. Look at these questions, these bullet points, taken from different writing and speaking exams. What would be good answers for these questions? As you can see, you have a variety of questions. Some are overlap, foundation higher. That means that you could have found them in a foundation paper or in a higher paper. And the last one, last bullet point, describe un fin de semana especial, is a more challenging one that I found in a higher paper. So what you can do is to draft a good answer for these different bullet points. How would you do it? Okay, to help you a little bit, I put the beginning of the first answer for you there in Spanish. The first question says, describe una visita escolar reciente. Of course, all the questions in this case are going to be in past tense. Describe una visita escolar reciente. Describe a recent school visit. So, again, this is something that has happened, action in the past, very specific. Something that you can do is start your sentence with a time indicator. For example, in this case, I am using the same one that specifies, that states the question, recientemente, recently, but feel free to use a different one. For example, el año pasado, last year, la semana pasada, last week, o el martes pasado, last Tuesday. As long as it is specific, it's going to be okay. So give yourself 10-15 minutes, pause the video, and try to answer these questions using the preterite past tense. You might need to use the other type of past tense if you want, if it fits in the answer, but mainly the preterite specific past tense. And try to use as many AR verbs as you can. For example, jugar, to play, bailar, escuchar música, comprar, to buy, etc. Okay, how did it go? Well, what you have here is a table where you can find model answers for each of these questions you've practiced. So you will have to compare your answers to the model answers and identify mistakes or make them better, expand and correct your endings. You can get new ideas for the model answers as well. Let's have a look at the first one. Describe una visita escolar reciente. Describe a recent school visit. And the answer says, recientemente yo visité España con el colegio y fue una experiencia maravillosa, pero por desgracia perdí mi móvil. As you can see here, we've got different past tense verbs in this sentence. The first one you have is yo visité, I visited. That comes from the infinitive visitar, AR ending, regular verb. But then you also have other verbs in past tense as well, such as fue, it was, and perdí, I lost, mi móvil, my phone. Let's have a look at the second one. Again, in the second answer, I started with a time indicator. You can make up the one you want as long as it is specific. In this case, I used el fin de semana pasado, last weekend. Mi amigo y yo jugamos al baloncesto en la cancha. Jugamos is the first verb we have in past tense. My friend and I, we played. jugamos. Look at the ending. It comes from the infinitive jugar, AR. You need to remove the AR and replace it with amos. Lo mejor es que yo practiqué mucho. You've got another verb in preterite past tense. Practiqué, I practiced. It comes from practicar, which is an AR verb as well. Let's have a look at number 3, where you had to describe your experience last time you went shopping with your friends. And in my answer, I wrote, ayer fui al centro comercial con mis amigos. Yo compré muchas camisetas y vestidos. Again, here I've used yo compré, I bought. Look at how I constructed this verb. First of all, I thought of comprar, AR ending, to buy. I removed the AR and I replaced it with my E with an accent, which is the ending for I. You also have another past tense at the beginning of the sentence, fui. Careful with this one, it's irregular. It doesn't follow the pattern. It means I went. And the final bullet point, where you had to describe a special weekend, I started with last weekend, el fin de semana pasado, and then I used 2 past tense expressions using we, because you have to talk about, where in this case I talked about what my friends and I did. So I used cantamos, cantamos, we sang in a karaoke. It comes from the infinitive to sing, which means cantar in Spanish, AR. And after that, after we sang in the karaoke, we danced the whole night in a club and I liked it a lot. We danced, bailamos, remove the AR from bailar and put amos instead. So what you can do now is to compare, as I said, your sentences with these model answers and correct and improve. But something that will really help you expand and take your knowledge and your understanding of the preterite past to the next level is to try the stretch and challenge task. Rewrite all these sentences, making them even more complex. So think of our avocado technique and try to use adverbs, more opinions, more connectives, and different complex structures. Some of the sentences already included some complex structures. For example, number 2, lo mejor es que, the best is that. But feel free to expand by adding more detail to these sentences. That will definitely help you take this past tense to the next level. Well done, great work. So far, you have recalled the pattern for regular AR verbs in the past, in Spanish. You have considered which questions to use it with, and you have practiced how to use the past tense in exam questions. Thank you for watching this video. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.